afternoon, Professor Venkatrangan.
Thank you, Dr.
So, on behalf of the Heritage Center, I wish to extend a very warm and affectionate welcome to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for accepting to join this oral heritage history interview and conversation. And I'm highly honored and it's a pleasure for me to engage with you in this conversation.
Thank you.
And I'm sure in the next 50 to 60 minutes, we would have learned a lot about those golden age of your career in this department and in the institute. And
thank you very much. So I will first start with a brief introduction about myself and how I joined the institute.
Yes.
I was a graduate BA Mathematics from Government Arts College, Coimbatore, and it was about 18 years when I completed my graduation. It was an exceptional thing because those days they were very strict about age restrictions, but there were some special cases where they exempted people who were highly motivated, and then they allowed them by the director of the Director of Education, School Education, and we were asked to complete our SSLC and take our graduate course. So I did my BA Mathematics at Government Arts College, Coimbatore. It was BA at that time, not BSc, BA Mathematics. And then I got a first class rank. And then I wanted to join BE because at that time there was a clamor for BE students, and therefore I wanted also to join, but because of financial circumstances I could not join. And anyway, it was my ambition to join some engineering college and become a graduate in engineering. But my uncle advised me at that time, because of financial reasons, to become a teacher. BT was only a 9 months course, Bachelor of Teaching. So he said, you join Ramakrishna Vidyalaya at Perinayakambadyam, and I joined there. And then in 9 months I completed my BT at Ramakrishna Vidyalaya, Perinayakambadyam in English and mathematics. Two subjects we had to take, and English and mathematics. Then I joined as a teacher in Municipal High School, North Coimbatore, and I was there as a BT assistant for 5 years, 1957 to 62. But at that time, I had always been aspiring to be a graduate in engineering, so there was no other option but to go for AMIE. That was another venue which was available to me, and so I was yearning and learning also at that time. So I was doing my AMIE course at an institute at Coimbatore, private institute at Coimbatore, and I was the only one who passed the section A of AMIE in the first attempt from that institute. And then I was interested in doing section B and becoming an engineer. So when I took leave for section B from the school, at that time I was interested in doing LE also, licentiate in electrical engineering, because AMIE I have passed, so I thought let me do LE also simultaneously. So I came to write the LE examination in Central Polytechnic here. At that time there was an advertisement in the paper about IIT Madras, and then that year they said that they will admit students for mathematics.
This was which year?
Pardon?
Which year was this?
That was 1962. 1962. 57 to 62 I was a BT assistant. 62 I came here to write the examination, because it happened to be the date of interview here at IIT Madras also was happening to be the near 1 or 2 days near. So I stayed here, and then I came to the institute for the interview. And that time Professor Sengupta was the director and Lakshman Swami Mudaliar was the chairman at that time. And then I went for the interview, and there was the big hall, and that was in the now housing civil engineering department. There the director's office was there, and there was a long table and all that, which I have never seen in my life till that time, because that was a very big table. And then about 40 or 50 people will be sitting around, and then we were called in for the interview, and luckily only 5 people were selected. And they, of course, we told them that it will not be possible for me to do the thing here because I had some problem with finance, and they said we will give you scholarship. And so all the 5 of us were given scholarship, and I think it was the same with the physics and chemistry also. That was the first batch at that time. So we joined here, and at that time we were not having a separate department. We were housed in some 3 or 4 rooms in the HSB.
So this interview is for admission into mathematics
Into
department,
mathematics.
postgraduate program.
Okay. No, for the mathematics, MSc, entrance. For entrance, there was an interview, oral interview, and then they selected based on the performance in the interview.
Okay.
There was no examination at that time.
Fine.
At that time, there was no examination. And so 5 of us were selected. And then we continued here completely. And then in the year 64, we got our MSc degrees. And then because I had taken leave from the institute, from municipality at Coimbatore as a teacher, so I went back and joined there. And then Professor Nigam had joined in the department. He was the role model for me in teaching. As a matter of fact, possibly you must be knowing that he was the role model for many people who wanted to be good teachers. So we became good teachers only because of him. We used to enjoy his teaching, and he used to have classes even after the college hours at that time in hydrodynamics. And then we used to go and meet. So there was plenty of give and take between the students and the faculty at that time, because that was about one year since he joined at that time. Professor Srinivasan was the head, S.K. Srinivasan was the head. Then after joining there, the DEO who came to see me, he said, better go and join for PhD, and why did you come here unnecessarily as a teacher, wasting your MSc degree? Then he said, I appreciated him, and he said, I will get you leave, and so you go and join. When I came here, the date was over. Date for applying for PhD was over. But then Professor Nigam took me to Professor Sengupta and said that he is our student, one of the best students here, and I would like to take him. So he has not applied. Already one week has passed. Then he said, it doesn't matter, let him apply now, and then I was selected that time. And then, of course, I told Professor Nigam about my family circumstances and all that. And the next year, after I joined as a PhD scholar, he took me on the staff as a senior technical assistant, the lowermost possibly in the department at that time. But anyway, I was very happy because I could get some money and then help my family. That was how I joined the department. And then slowly I had a good reputation of being a good teacher, because I used to follow Professor Nigam, and he used to give me classes. And whenever teachers were about to go, I was waiting for them to go, and then whatever classes they were taking, I will take from them and then go on teaching. And so like that, though I was a research scholar for 1 year, I could go on teaching even at that time itself. With the permission of Professor Nigam, I will go and teach the students in the absence of the teachers. And that is how I entered into the department as a senior technical assistant. And then slowly I went up the ladder and retired as a professor in 1997. 97. And 90 till 98 there was extension for me. 98 June, I think. 98 June I retired from the institute. So that is how I got into the institute. And of course, my ambition of becoming an engineer was not satisfied, but coming to an engineering college was satisfied. And I used to get papers for correction from AMIE, where I had completed my course. So they just followed me, and then I was getting paper correction from AMIE for Section A students in mathematics. So I used to do that. So that was how I entered the institute, and I had a very pleasant experience all through.
So as a PhD scholar with Professor S.D. Nigam, so what were your experiences? How was, what was his approach in
he was
molding you?
No, not only molding me, molding many people. See, when he came from Kharagpur, IIT. At that time, we were all thinking about only the previous staff members, S.K. Srinivasan and others, But when I joined under Professor Nigam, because Professor Srinivasan had already taken research scholar, so he did not want to take me at that time. He said, you please ask Professor Nigam. So I asked him, and then he took me as a research scholar. There were 3 research scholars with him at that time. And there were many other staff members who were interested in doing research under him, though they have not registered at that time, even Srivastava and other people. So when all of us will meet in the evening, every day we will meet in the evening by 7:30. After our food in the hostel, we will come here, and Professor Nigam also will come from his house. And then from 7:30 to 9, each one will tell whatever he has read and found interesting, he will present it in the seminar room of the department. And so the department will be active till 9 o'clock. And morning 7:30 or 8 o'clock, Professor Nigam will be there before we come from the hostels here. He will be there. So he was such a nice man. And at that time, there was not much of journals which are available in the library in the fields in which he was working, hydrodynamics particularly. But he had interest in collecting all the papers, and so he used to have a bundle of papers collected from some persons, and he had to return them. So we used to copy those papers of other authors in hydrodynamics, and then we will be, at the time of copying, we will be interested in knowing what they have written and all that. So that is how we started. And then one day he will say, you take up this paper and present it here. So like that he used to ask the students. He will never give the topic of research to the students. The students have to find it for themselves. So he will say, if you find this interesting, go ahead, see these journals and then read and present it here. So I used to work in liquid helium also in the beginning, liquid helium, and then stationary principles, all those things. But then he left us completely free. By that time, I became a staff member also, so it was part-time for me. But anyway, he will not leave. If we present something to him one evening, the next morning he will come and ask, what did you do about that? Have you found out the answers for my questions? He will come to my room and then ask.
Exactly.
So that is how he started. The creating enthusiasm in the students by his enthusiasm in the students. That is what he used to do. That was how he motivated us. And then we will go and tell him, sir, this is the field. I feel that there are some interesting things which are here. Then he will say, please proceed ahead. And then in the seminars we will present. And then he will say, take up this topic. So go on doing research. And so that is how we started with that. So there was the topic of research that I had was on the use of local potentials. As in chemistry, there was Prigogine, Ilya Prigogine by name, and he was a Nobel laureate. He had come to IIT Madras also. Professor Prigogine had come here. He is a chemistry professor of Belgium University, and he had come here, and I was interested in doing work in his field, and so I had done some work already. And then Professor Nigam said, this is the best time. Okay. So he is coming to math science. So we will invite him. You present to him whatever you have done. And then we invited him here, and then he used to come here in the evenings and discuss with us. And then he found that 2 papers that we had done in his field were very interesting, and he said, if you permit me, I will present it in the Belgium Academy of Sciences on your behalf. You need not come, I will present it. So the 2 papers that I had first were presented by the Nobel laureate in Belgium Academy of Sciences.
Who is the Nobel laureate?
Prigogine, Ilya Prigogine, thermodynamics man. See, he was a student of Didonder and other people. And he said, thermodynamics, actually the state of any system can be defined in 3 or 4 ways. One is equilibrium state, where everything will be a constant. At every place here, it will be a constant, irrespective of its position and time and all that. That is equilibrium dynamics. That was the thing which was being taught in the schools and colleges at that time. And then the system that is next is what is called as the stationary state or steady state. In steady state, the temperature, everything will be depending upon position, not on time. Position, not on time. So there will be coordinates of position. And then the other non-stationary state is one where you have position and time coming into play. So, if you are going to study systems, the systems will not be always in equilibrium. Every point in the world will not have the same temperature, same pressure, etc. So, people thought that thermodynamics which was being taught was dead completely and it is useless. And so, Prigogine took up, Prigogine and his student Glandstorff of Belgium school, they took it up, and then they said how it can be modified to accommodate the steady state and the non-steady state. These were the three states. And of course, the turbulent state was beyond that scope. It was not in the local potential area, but turbulent state was completely different, and that was discussed by Landau and Lifshitz of Russian school. So, this was when I presented it to him, and we had applied it to problems in thermodynamics, in heat transfer, in boundary layer theory, and instability of systems, Chandrasekhar's field. So, these four problems I had tackled using his method, what is called as the local potential. The main idea is the system may be completely different at different places and different times, but when you take delta t time like Newton's method, so there will be a local potential for that. So, there will be an upper one and a lower one, and so that is how they built up what is called as the concept of a local potential. And then when he presented that paper, the two papers were accepted, and then those were the two papers which I published along with Professor Nigam in the first stage, beginning stages, and it was quite enthusiastic work for us.
Oh, very nice.
So, that is how we started and continued with that. And then later on, when I completed my PhD,
So, how long did it take for you
it
to
was
complete?
because I became a staff member, and I want to tell you also another thing. When I became a staff member, at that time we had about 60 students in a class, and the BTech students were divided into 4 or 5 groups, and simultaneously 4 teachers will be teaching. And so, I used to take one section, and then parallelly there will be
So, you mean to
4
say
other.
class strength was 15?
For?
And you said 60 students would be divided into 4?
No, not 60, 60 into 5, 300, around 300 BTech students.
Okay.
BTech students will be in 4 or 5 batches, and then one will be under my charge, and there will be correspondingly my colleagues will be taking 4 more sections or 5 more sections. And so, we used to meet together and then discuss about. And what happened was that some of the students felt that they could come to my class, because that was divided already by the academic section. And so, they said, sir, we would like to attend his section, and it was not possible. So, what was done was, they went to the head of the department, Professor Nigam, and said, sir, we would like to attend his classes, so please reorganize. But all the other people were also asking, and then they said, they went to the director also at that time, and then they said that what should be done. Of course, not that they were against the other teacher, but they said, we like the way he teaches. That is what they said. And then he said, if you are interested, then come after the college hours, and then by 5 to 6:30 I will be teaching in the Central Lecture Theatre, and all the students of BTech, most of them who were interested, will be coming and joining. So, like that I used to give.
Okay.
So, that was one of the things which prompted me to become a very good teacher if possible. That is how I started. Most of the things I learned by teaching the students. Every year when I teach the students, I used to teach it in a different way, because I know the difficulties of the students who have done the previous examinations. They would have come and told me, sir, this is how I understood. But the next time when I teach, I will see that doubt will not come to anybody in the class. So, that is how I improved my teaching. So, I was a teacher, but also I was a student at the same time. So, that is how I enjoyed teaching in IIT. And most of the things were very simple. The students used to ask me, why is 0 by 0 indeterminate form? Why is infinity minus infinity indeterminate form? Why is 1 to the power of infinity? Because 1 to the power of infinity, 1 into 1 into 1, any number of times is 1 only. But 1 to the power of infinity is indeterminate, you can't find the value. Why? So, I used to give them practical examples of infinity minus infinity, how it is 4, how it can be 5, infinity minus infinity can be 6, how it can be 6. So, I used to construct and give them very simple examples. That is why the students have started liking me.
Okay.
They said, sir, because we did not know all these things. My teacher also did not teach me all these things, but this I learnt by thinking about the whole thing and then wanted to give them some examples.
Okay.
So that is how I did that. So the teaching was in a way a learning for me
Okay.
to become a very good teacher.
Okay, fine.
So that is how I used to spend my time. And after that, of course, MSc courses are also there. And there were some engineering students who wanted to take some courses under me because Professor Banerjee was teaching electromagnetic waves. And there they had the operation of delta coming in, del operator. And so they were saying, sir, divergence, curl and gradient and all this we are not able to understand. Can you please? Then I said, first I should get the permission of Professor Banerjee, because I do not know what he is teaching you and all that, but I must concur with him. So then they said, you contact Banerjee. Banerjee told me these are the things which the boys, I am using for the boys. Then Professor Nigam said, you please take a special course for electrical engineering students outside the class hours, and 5 o'clock again, central lecture theatre, the electrical students will come, and I used to tell them what is meant by the operation del when it operates on a scalar, on a vector, as a dot product, as a cross product. I used to tell all these things, and in the process I learned many things, which because I had to explain to the students in a clear way, and so I had to deeply think about that and then find the applications. The AMIE that I studied was very helpful, because at that time engineering applications were there in AMIE, engineering, electrical engineering applications. So I used to teach the students when they came for knowing the operations of del and all that, where do you get this in electrical engineering? In hydrodynamics, where do you get that for civil engineering? So that is how I used to attract the students by giving them some practical examples in their own fields. So that is how I became a good teacher. And when I joined the department, I will tell you that there were no, the only slide rule was made compulsory for the students. Engineering students must buy the slide rule at that time. That was 1967, 68 and all that. And there was a big model slide rule in our department which was under my custody. When I joined as an STA, they asked me to demonstrate how to use the slide rule for multiplication and all that. And then slowly after 2 or 3 years, the slide rule became obsolete, and then you had the hand calculators. And when the hand calculators came, we had Brunswiga from Germany. There were in the lab, Brunswiga calculators were there, and Facet calculators, and I was appointed there as a person in charge. And then the boys used to like it very much, because it has to play with the machines, you know. So they used to play and come and play, and then do mathematics, numerical methods at that time. So Professor Subbarao was also there.
Okay.
So he will give some problems, and he will say, Venkatrangan will be in charge, you please go ahead and learn from him. So they used to come and do numerical methods and calculate and all that. Of course, nowadays, then of course we had the computers coming in, and after that the Brunswigas, I don't know whether they are in the here or in the workshop. It must be somewhere lying idle and all that. So that is how the progress in the department was there, starting from the slide rule up to the laptops and desktops, all those things. That is how the development took place. And then the teaching methods also changed, because the numerical method which was being taught earlier was very slow. But now, after the advent of the calculator and all that, it was very quick. So the students also used to do a lot of problems, and then we could also proceed to more interesting topics in numerical methods. That is how the syllabus also got changed, because there is a flexibility of changing the syllabus by the department after some time in consultation with the teachers. So we used to change the syllabus and then include some new methods and all that. So that was how the teaching pattern also was changing every time. And I used to enjoy teaching in IIT till I retired, till the date I retired.
Okay. So I have heard many of your students saying how passionate you were about teaching,
Yeah.
and how they really wish to be a teacher like you. I have heard
No,
many
I-
of your students.
No, no, I think you were also a student of Professor Nigam.
Yes, I am also.
And everything came from him.
Yes, yes.
The way he explained that, see, the whole concept will be very small, but the foundation that he lays, it will lead you, oh, what is the next thing? What is the next thing?
Yes, exactly.
So like that it will go,
Yes.
and then finally what he says will be very easily understood by you.
Yes.
Without your knowing, you will understand, oh, this is so simple.
Yes.
So that is how the whole thing will. So when some people come to me for mathematics, even now, I tell them very simple things, example things. For example, complex variable, the complex integration and all that. Why complex integration? Why do you do that? Laplace transform, why do you study? First I tell them the need for studying something. So everything has to be studied because you want to make it simpler so that you can. So the Laplace transform does only differential equation becomes an ordinary simultaneous equation, which is very easy, you are very easily able to solve. So that is how I create interest in the students.
So how did Professor Nigam's training to you towards research help you in the later years?
Yeah, of course, because my students also, whenever I was not like Professor Nigam, I want to tell you very honestly, but he was such a wonderful man. He could have 4 or 5 research scholars too, but I used to take only one at a time and concentrate on it, because along with my teaching work, it was very difficult for me to go with 2 or 3 research scholars at a time, but one at a time. But whenever I used to take a research scholar, I used to consult him, and then I will say, sir, this is the topic I want to give him. I will always consult him. This is the topic, would you feel that it will be good? Then he said, yes, yes, it's very good. It is very interesting to proceed. That is how all the research scholars that I took, I will always take his permission and then say, this is the field in which I want to work, and then he will understand that and do that. And the last student whom I took was Rajalakshmi by name. You might have known her. She was the MSc student here. And Rajalakshmi worked on Adomian's principle, Adomian's principle of solving equations. And Adomian, because I saw in a review that Adomian had given an idea that this method will be working in all the fields, not necessarily in the field in which he has found it out. So I took that. And then Rajalakshmi did work on that. And then there was another scholar also, Sivakumar, he also did work on this. So Adomian's principle. So in a way, he was a motivating factor and also a guiding factor. Even after my PhD, he was guiding me in many ways. So that is.
Excuse me, when did you get your doctorate?
72.
72.
72.
And when did you got promoted from STA to higher level?
I don't remember. STA, that was about 6 or 7 years later. As a lecturer, and then lecturer to assistant professor, and then professor. I don't.
To become assistant professor.
I don't remember the dates, but.
Okay, I just want to remind you about one thing. When Professor Indiresan
Correct.
introduced the credit system,
Yeah.
and I remember he wanted to have 10 periodicals.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you that you were in that
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
I want to tell you that also. See, Indiresan was a very nice teacher, there is no doubt about it. But when he came here, then he wanted to implement some things which were done at IIT Delhi. And then I think you were also there in the meeting, and some students were also, student representatives were also there. And then he said that from next time onwards, every week there will be a test for the students in mathematics, in physics, in chemistry, in all the subjects, every week. This week, whatever they have learnt, next week they will have a test in that topic, etc. Like that he was telling. Then, of course, everybody was keeping quiet because he was a new director, and he asked, what is your opinion? Then I said, sir, if you ask me frankly, I will tell you. Otherwise, I will keep quiet. Then he said, you tell me, you are supposed to be a very good teacher, please tell me that. Then I opened out and said, sir, there are some topics in mathematics which cannot be taught in 1 week. It might be 1 month to finish that. So with all your experience, please tell me what is the topic that is. I said, continuity. Simple topic like continuity. The concept of this left limit, right limit, and then the students have to understand this, and then they have to do problems on that, and then only when they have mastered that, you can ask them questions on that. Otherwise, first day, left limit, right limit, and what will they know about it? So there is no possibility of having a test in some topics like that every week. But if it is a month or so, it will be good. And I said in chemistry also, it is the same thing. I took the liberty. I think I asked Swami whether I said, sir, as far as biochemistry knowledge is mostly zero, but I will tell you from what I know, the halogen group and all that, there is a halogen, what is that, chlorine, bromine, iodine and fluorine. And in this, fluorine is the most active one, and so bromine and iodine, it goes on. And you have to study the whole group and then only have common properties, differentiating properties, and it will take, I think, quite a lot of time, not 1 week or so, it will be more than that. And then the students who were there, then they said, sir, what Venkataraman says is right, so let us not have weekly tests, let us have monthly tests.
He was very angry
He was very angry, he was terribly angry.
and meeting was adjourned. And then the students apologized to me. So they said, sir, you tried to raise that and then it happened like this. So they made it. So anyway, we didn't have the 10th periodicals. It was usual.
So usual. Otherwise, every day, see, every week there is a periodical, means all the days students will be having periodicals only. This week on the portions of last week, next week portions of the previous week, and then final examination. And there are many topics which cannot be covered in 1 week. In 3 or 4 lectures, how can you continuity, differentiability, how will you do that? It is very difficult. Even for MSc students now who have understood all those things, it will be very difficult. If you ask them to teach, it will be difficult. You have to construct examples and give them. So that is what I said. And it is nice that you reminded me. That was...
Okay. Then what was your reaction when the system changed to a semester system?
No,
There
the
was a
semester...
change, isn't it?
No, semester system was good. Semester system was never bad.
No, I'm asking. When there was a change from 1 year duration program and to a semester system
program, yeah.
So what was the reaction at that time?
No, I was very happy about that. I was very happy. Instead of hanging on completely throughout whatever for 1 year, so you break it into the 2 halves and then study. There is nothing wrong. Okay. So it was welcomed by students also. Okay. Students also welcomed, and I also welcomed that. Okay. So that is quite interesting. And
so then, did you stay in the campus or?
No, I was staying in the campus only.
Okay, so what changes do you find in the campus now?
Now, of course, it has become slightly crowded. That is what I find. There are lots of buildings which were not there earlier.
So at that time, how was it?
No, the multi-storied buildings which have come up on this side when I came now today. This side I saw some multi-storied buildings. They were not there, and it was quite calm. And we used to enjoy the open air theatre pictures because at that time TVs were not there. TV programs were not there, and if he remembers, we used to enjoy all the programs which were given in open air theatre. And the college, the hostel functions, will always be conducted here, and the hostels will come here, and then they will give a general entertainment. We used to go there and sit. Mimicries will be there. Very nice, interesting programs by all students, and the students were very much talented. Of course, now also they might be talented, but still we were able to appreciate the talents of all those people at that time, because we never had TV or anything, only this was a recreation, which was very nice. And many people from my relatives' houses, they used to come here on Saturday and then come for the programs here. So they used to enjoy very nicely all the programs. Okay. That was very nice. And then another thing also happened in the meanwhile. We had Pakistan war or China war, I don't remember. And then 3-year BTech course was introduced. You remember that 3-year BTech? BTech course, special. I think this was for 3 or 4 years. It was continuing. And then we had good experience with many people who were coming from Army, Air Force. There used to be a number of people who used to come there. I used to teach them also, mathematics. And so that was very interesting thing also. Along with the 5-year, which became 4-year later, and then in between there was 3 years, 3 years course. For about 3 or 4 years it was there. Very nice programs.
So those students must have completed their undergraduate program
and then come here. Yeah, and then come here. So graduates, BA graduates, they will be coming, and so
or science graduates?
Some people were deputed by the Army, Navy and Air Force. They were also here. And they had lot of interest also because they have to go back and join the parent department and all that. That's why they used to take a lot of interest. Professor, one was Kala by name. I remember most of their names. So there were some girl students also who came, and we enjoyed teaching those three. That was a separate course for them. So the syllabus was different and very nice, interesting courses we had.
Apart from teaching and research, have you been a warden of a hostel or some?
Oh, no, no, I was not, but there was some special program for the, we can't call it as SCST, we should not call it now as a SCST special course was there. You remember that?
Scheduled caste.
In BTech.
Preparatory course?
No, those students who failed in the entrance examination and were scheduled caste and scheduled tribe candidates, they will have special coaching by the IIT. Those who were not able to get into IIT, they were called, given scholarships, and then they were trained here in our institute. Institute teachers used to teach them, and then they will appear for the entrance exam the next year, and then they will get qualified and come in.
That was only in Professor Indiresan's time.
That was and in fact I heard that Indiresan was very much upset by that program, and you must have heard about it.
It was only in his time that some of the students were given that BSc Tech or something. BSc Arts.
Something like that. So he was against it completely, but anyway, because of force of circumstances, he is a very principled man. Professor Indiresan, though in spite of my quarreling with him, but still I appreciated him, because I was deputed to Germany, and I was here to Peradeniya University. Peradeniya University for teaching for 6 months. I was there in Peradeniya University, and along with me some Professor Venkateseshaya and Sri Ramalu, all those people, they were there. And from chemistry department, who was there? I don't remember. Chemistry, nobody came. Only for mathematics, electrical engineering, and Bhattacharya also, along with next batch. He went, some 3 or 4 people were deputed from our department for the teaching. So first I was deputed. They said, first you send some good teachers, and then you can continue for 3 more semesters. So first semester I went there and taught in the Peradeniya University for the students there. That was.
So you said you graduated as the first batch of MSc students from this institute.
Yeah, correct.
So who were all the faculty members at that time, apart from Professor S.D. Nigam and Professor Srinivasan?
D.S. Subramaniam was one of the faculty. D.S. Subramaniam, he was one of the best teachers. He was one of the best teachers, though many people do not like him, because he never will look towards the students, and then he will go on narrating whatever he wants to say, teaching them. But only thing is, those who are in the first 4 or 5 seats, they will be able to hear him, and the others at the back, they never used to hear him. But he was one of the best teachers that I could do. In pure mathematics, he was the best in our department. And then S.K. Srinivasan was there. S.K. Srinivasan, at that time, we had an understanding with people in math science. Professor Ladi Ramakrishnan was the chief at that time there, and Vasudevan was there. And S.K. Srinivasan is a student of Ladi. And so we used to go to math science for seminars, and they will come and give seminar in our HSB 237. Every week there will be one seminar. So one Friday we will have here, one Friday we will have in. So there were many people who were there. From our department, there were 2 people who had joined there. By name Sridhar, who was an MSc student here, he did his PhD there. And then Sundar, Sundar is another name. And there was a 3rd student of ours, another Sundar by name, and he is also there. Sundar was there, and there was one more person. They were all top ranking students here in mathematics, and they were taken by
Kesavan? Kesavan also?
Kesavan, right, I forgot. Kesavan, French, yes. He was in France for some time. Kesavan. Yes. Kesavan is the other student. Excellent students, very brilliant students. Kesavan's classmate is the other person, Sundar. Sundar, I don't know whether he is continuing here or not, but Kesavan, Sundar, they were all there. They were, so we had a very good understanding. We used to go and give. That is how I got Prigojin. When he came there, then Professor Nigam brought him here, and then he presented my paper. There.
Okay.
So it was very nice association. And then we had association with the AC College of Technology also. So the mathematics, G.N. Ramachandran was there. G.N. Ramachandran was there, and some of his students, they used to come and learn mathematics from our department. So I used to help them. So G.N. Ramachandran will tell, you can help, get the help from these people. And there were some electrical engineering staff members there who were very much interested in coming and learning some things from our mathematics department. Say they used to come here and on. And at that time, when I completed my PhD, there was no computer here, big computer system here. So I went to Ginji Engineering College, and then they used to help me at that time, and then AC College. Both the colleges I used to go and get the time in their computers. And so there was quite a lot of understanding between all the three colleges, and then in the Institute of Mathematical Sciences also at that time. Professor Vasudevan was there. You might have heard about him. Very well-known figure, Vasudevan. Aladi's student and a colleague of him, and S.K. Srinivasan's colleague. And I worked on his paper. It was a dissertation. At that time, MSc, we had a dissertation also. So I was asked to go to Professor Vasudevan, and then because there was quantum mechanics which was being taught in our department by S.K. Srinivasan, so he said, you go, and I worked on Yukawa potential, which was Vasudevan's topic, and in fact, it was, most of the things were taken from his book, Vasudevan's book on Yukawa potential, and he was the external examiner for me, for MSc, he was there at that time. So we used to have, and there was a lot of other activities also which were happening at that time, which I don't think now it is happening. Professor Valluri was there. Professor Valluri was there, and he was the fracture mechanics man, fracture mechanics, and he used to give talks, and all the staff members were invited for that, and we used to go there. It was a series of talks, about 10 lectures were there. And similarly, in physics department, Ramaseshan, Professor Ramaseshan, who is related to C.V. Raman, he used to give talk in the civil engineering department, and we also used to go and attend. And Professor Vasudevan of metallurgy department, and his brother was in physics department, R. Srinivasan. R. Srinivasan gave talks on helium atom, hydrogen and helium atom, and at that time Professor SKS was giving a lecture to us on quantum mechanics. So all the staff members used to attend, and we used to go and attend there. And so we are all students of R. Srinivasan also at that time. They used to invite all the people, and then we will go there. And another surprising thing which now is not happening is one of the things. At that time, modern physics was a topic for MSc mathematics students. I don't think you remember that. Professor Ramji Rao took the class. Professor S. Srinivasan, he took classes for us on modern physics. On completely modern physics they were teaching. And so we used to come to the laboratory also. So we used to have laboratory classes also, and used to perform experiments along with B.Tech students. There was some separate place for us. And so they were all, C.K. Narayan Swami was in charge for us, Professor C.K. Narayan Swami. He was in charge of us, and we used to enjoy it very much. Professor Ramabhadran was there. Ramabhadran was also there. So we used to enjoy, and particularly Ramji Rao's, Professor Ramji Rao's classes. Ramji Rao was from physics. He used to teach physics for us, and so we used to enjoy. And then quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics was taught by Srinivasan there in physics department, and by S.K. Srinivasan in mathematics department. So we used to attend S.K. Srinivasan's class, and then physics students will say, sir, his classes are very good. R. Srinivasan's class, you come attend. So we will attend his classes also. So we used to, of course, with his permission, we used to go there and sit and learn from Srinivasan. He was one of the best teachers. R. Srinivasan is considered to be, he was the deputy director also for some time of our institute, one of the best teachers, next to Professor Nigam. They are all in the same line. At that time, there were triumvirates. M.V.C. Sastry was in your department, and Nigam from our department, and Rama. No, physics. Physics was Rama. Rama Sastry was there. All the three, they used to be very friendly. And your M.V.C. Sastry used to stay in the same wing as we were in the beginning stages. M.V.C. Sastry lab was, Catalyst lab was in the second floor of our department, where our HOD's office is there.
Okay.
Just on the other side, Professor M.V.C. Sastry. We used to meet him every day. Every day we used to meet him. And we enjoyed. So all the three, so we had connections, interconnections and all that.
So, what about the faculty members who joined later, say in the
Later,
years
I
of
don't have much of
80s
idea
to
about
90s before you retired
them.
in the Department of Mathematics?
Because now, now 20 years have passed since I retired. I think 20 years I have completed. 97 I retired.
97.
97.
So when I joined, you were
Yeah.
there.
At that time I retired. I retired at that time. So I don't know the present, except Kulkarni. I think Kulkarni is also retiring. No, Kulkarni is shortly retiring. And P.V. Subramaniam has retired already. Most of them have retired. And only one or two whom I know, Kulkarni is retiring. And I don't know. Tamban Nair,
He is there.
he is there. He is there. So some 2 or 3 people. But I don't have much of contact with them.
Okay.
That is.
All right. So,
When did you become professor?
Professor, I was in 90.
97?
No, not 97. 94 or 90.
You retired in 97.
Yeah. 97 September I retired. But there was a rule that you can go on till the next academic year.
That's all right.
That's how.
It's not counted as.
So 94 or 93. I don't remember the date. I was an associate professor also. See, we had assistant professor, associate professor, professor, like that. So myself and Raghav came through all the steps, not jumping and all that. STA, lecturer, assistant professor, associate professor, professor. So like that, all the.
so you have been engaging all the time in teaching. What were your hobbies then?
Hobbies, of course, I never had. I used to enjoy teaching only.
Teaching.
Yeah. Even now I enjoy teaching.
Okay.
Even now, some students come to me from schools. Of course, I teach them. I say, whenever I am here, you can come and get my help. So those who are known to me and near my houses, they come and learn for 11th standard or 12th standard mathematics. And some engineering college students also come and asking some doubts about matrices, determinants, all this. So whenever I have free time, I call them and then I help them. Whatever doubts they have, I help them.
Okay.
Were you involved in teaching students for JEE?
Yeah, it was there. I will tell you. See, in the beginning, when we were in the campus, so at that time, people from the campus, they had our director's sons, many of our director's sons, they used to come to me and get here, like that. And then there were some other staff members who were interested and saying, sir, we will. So at that time, myself, Narayanan and Ramabhadran, we were asked to help the students, but at that time, we had to get the special permission from the director. Because outside we cannot go and teach. In fact, there was one brilliant tutorials, you might have heard about that. Brilliant tutorials person came, Thanu, came here when I was a teacher here. And then he said, why don't you come and teach me? I will give you 4 times the pay that they are giving. I said, I don't want 4 times your pay and all that. I don't want to come there and teach. Then I said, if you want any help, go and get the permission of the director. Director has to give the permission, then only I can come. So he knew that when he comes to the director will not permit it, so he went away. But then there were some staff members in the institute whose children and whose relatives' children, they were interested in coming and learning from me and Narayanan and Ramabhadran. Because there was a, of course I did not want to go into this earlier, there was a questionnaire by Pandalai when he was the director, and he had asked the students without mentioning to other staff members who are the best teachers in the departments. So in each department, each one was selected by the students. The students gave their names, and my name was in the physics, means mathematics department. Ramabhadran's name was in physics department, and Professor Narayan's name was in the chemistry department. So I know the students who gave, because they were all very good students of mine in BTech. And so when they gave that name, then there were, he said that by getting the approval of the Senate, we will present them with some memento and all that. So that was circulated, and then there was a furor, because people said, without asking anybody, how did you ask the students to give? And then only the evaluation of teachers came up. So then he said, if you don't like that, so let it be on record that these are the 3 best teachers, let it be there. I will not give them any token or anything like that, or presentation, memento. Then the questionnaire came, and then you were asked to give it to the students and get their response and all that. That is how it went on. And at that time also, myself, Ramabhadran, see, we were teaching not for the sake of anything. It was only because of pleasure in teaching. And so the staff members, all of them, they said that they should be permitted to take classes, at least for us. And Professor Pandalai's son was my student also. He was there, and he used to come and study with me. Many of the students, Kuryako's daughter and your Rajaram's 2 sons who were in America, they came to me and they were learning from me for JEE. They were coming, and some staff members here who were mechanics and all that, their sons used to come. And so I was teaching them free. But then when they said that it should not be stopped, then we said, go and ask the director, because people are saying that we should not take. So the director said, we give permission to the 3 to teach. But only thing is, they should not go for setting of question paper or correction of JEE examinations. That's what the director gave a ruling. So at that time, we started helping again. So people knew about that. So that was how it was stopped and started again. And that was there.
So what about your children?
My son is a student of your husband, Vivekananda College. He did his BSc, and he joined IIT for mathematics, and he got the governor's medal in the year 92. He passed out of MSc Mathematics, and he is now the executive director of Morgan Stanley in United States of America, in New York. So from 92 he has shifted there, and he got his PhD from New York University, and he is working on financial management now. Okay. Near the Times Square in New York. He is there as the executive director.
Nice.
And my daughter is a mathematics graduate from Queen Mary's College, and she is the university first in mathematics in the University of Madras, and she got all 5 centums in the subjects completely, and that is the university first rank all through.
Oh, very nice.
All the 5 subjects in the final year she got centum in mathematics. And she is now a freelancer in mathematical training, and she is working in Bombay, going to different places in the world. She is there, and she is married to, you must be knowing, there was a STA in, there was a STA, senior technical assistant in electrical engineering department, and his son is Kodandraman. I have forgotten his name. He is no more. He was so all the students of and my grandson is now with Sundar Pichai in Google. Google. So he has got his doctorate in mathematics in Cornell University, Dhaka.
Oh, Oh.
Ithaca Cornell University. He is there.
Very
And my
nice.
daughter-in-law is with Facebook company in there.
So the mathematics thing continues.
Yeah, in spite of me.
Family.
Yeah, tree of.
Okay. The love for mathematics, passion for
mathematics,
mathematics. That still continues.
You have been working for the past 4 or 5 years. I mean, you have been there for the last 4 years. My granddaughter was a student of MS in mathematics.
Okay.
She passed out in 2016. She did her 4th semester in Denmark, Copenhagen.
Okay.
Her name was Parvati Nilakant. And now she is doing her PhD in Dublin.
Oh, it's a
MS there, in financial mathematics, and
Financial.
now
Yeah.
PhD there.
Nice.
That's how mathematics connection.
Yeah.
Children did not study it in my
Do you have any suggestions and advice to younger generation?
I don't have any. The only thing that I tell everybody is that no student is bad in mathematics. Every student is equally good. Only thing is, in the 4th standard to the 7th or 8th standard, if there are good teachers who teaches them, that is the stage where they get the fear in mathematics. And what they do is, whenever you give a problem, they try to solve and look at the answer, and if the answer is correct, they leave it. And if the answer is not there, they change the 7 in the numerator and 4 in the denominator, and then go on changing it, and that is how they get the fear. The fear in mathematics can be completely removed if the education from the 5th standard onwards to the 8th standard is taught by very good and enthusiastic mathematics teachers. If it is done, no student will think about fear in mathematics. That is my sincere opinion.
You have written any textbooks?
No, I have not written. I will tell you the reason why I don't want to write the textbook. The reason why I don't want to write the textbook is you can impress the student, make him understand it nicely when you are in one-to-one contact with him. One-to-one contact, not 1-to-2 and 1-to-3. One-to-one contact if you have, the students will definitely understand whatever you say. But if it is one-to-many, then it is not possible. And it can always be done. And I have got number of examples of students who have done extremely well. I will tell you about an example. There was one student at Bombay where my daughter is staying. I used to go there in the vacations from IIT, quarterly vacation, half-yearly vacation. I would go there for 15 days. And that boy was not good in mathematics. So his mother, who was a colleague of my daughter, she brought her son to me and then said, "Sir, 5th standard, he is finding it difficult." So whenever I used to go there, this fellow will come for 5 days or 15 days or 10 days, and he has got the Harvard's best medal in mathematics very recently. Harvard's best medal in mathematics, Harvard Universities. And what has happened is that fellow is very weak in other subjects, in English particularly. And so they failed him. And they said that this fellow cannot be given. Then they said, as a special rule, English is not going to matter much in mathematics, though of course he has to understand. But he has done very good work in mathematics, and so he should be given. So that is how he got this last year or so he got that, and then he thanked me from there. So that boy, from the 5th standard onwards, right up to the 12th standard, after that he has gone abroad. To the 12th standard, he has been continuously getting my help, and I will always teach him in such a way that it is a topic which is quite logical. There is no question of mugging up anything or anything. It is just logical. From this you get this, from this you get this. That is all. So that boy, he used to appreciate, and then now he has got. So like that, there are 4 or 5 examples of mine where students have done extremely well. Even when I went to America now, my old students had come and they have thanked me for teaching them in mathematics, because they are teaching mathematics to the students there. See, that is. So I used to enjoy that very much, because whatever you have, if you transfer it, then automatically they will pick up. It's a nice subject. I don't say that only mathematics is, but mathematics, because I know it, it is such a nice subject. And I don't remember anything now. I tell them very honestly, I don't remember anything. But only thing is the way it is derived. I remember that. That is how you can make them rid of the fear of mathematics.
Okay.
That is.
Were you invited to give lectures on the NPTEL? NPTEL.
No, NPTEL. I am not associated. I think P.V. Subramaniam is associated with that. But I was not. Because I was never here in station.
Yeah, of course, that was started after you retired.
After my retirement, yes.
Recently.
Yes, P.V. Subramaniam. P.V. Subramaniam was
given.
giving, I think.
Many of our
that was
faculty members have given.
Yeah, that is
courses
right.
in
I retired much before that.
Okay.
Much before that I retired. And then I was in States. Every year I used to go. 6 months I will be in States and 6 months here. And when I go to States, students will come from the Hindu temple there. There is a Hindu temple in New York. And you say that Professor Venkatrangan has come here. So alumnus of IIT, if they want to meet him, they can come. So I will put that. And then there will be some students from Pakistan, from South Korea. They will all come to me with the mathematics books. Sir, please teach me this. You will be surprised. In America, in Queens, when my son was there, so he will put an advertisement by saying that this is my father who has come from IIT Madras. He was a mathematics teacher. And then those alumni who had been associated with him, they can come and meet him in this address. And the alumni will come. Along with them, there will be some people who will be coming. And I used to teach Pakistanis. I used to teach Pakistanis and South Korean students. Korean students are good in mathematics, extremely good in mathematics. Their standard is very fine, extremely good. And they used to come and enjoy. And there was a very good school in New York, and one student came to me, and there was some wrong question in the question paper. I pointed out and I said, this must be the correct question. So you go and tell the teacher, please correct this. And then when he said that, then the next day, some 5 students come to me from the same school, saying, sir, you please help me along with this boy. You can help me. And when I went to Dubai, there was some student who was very weak in physics. And physics is nothing but mathematics, mostly your dynamics, statics and all that. So I used to go and teach there, that particular student. And then he was very much interested. And he got 100 marks in physics in the next examination. So what I want to say is that if you take interest in teaching, automatically that interest will definitely create some flutters in the students, and they will definitely remember you. That is.
One doubt from both of you.
Yes.
Has the astrophysicist, Professor Chandrasekhar,
Yeah.
has he visited mathematics department after getting the Nobel Prize?
To our department, you mean? He came here. Chandrasekhar was here. Don't you know?
82 he came.
Yeah.
That time he had not got the Nobel Prize.
No, Nobel Prize was given to him, but it was proposed and then it was given to him the next year or a year or later.
83
Yeah. It was in Physics Lecture Theatre, he gave a talk. I was there.
No, he seems to have come again in 89. And physics department seems to have arranged a seminar. And Professor Machi was telling, photographs were taken by the department. I was not able to confirm it.
No, but he was there. I attended that meeting also because I had studied the book of Chandrasekhar. There is a book on stability theory. There is a big book on stability theory, such a wonderful book. So because I had to take some problems from that, so I worked in that book. I took some examples from that book, and then I solved some problems using what is called as the local potential method developed by Prigogine in mathematics. See, this is how it happened. So Chandrasekhar has worked in astronomy also, astronomy, black hole theory and all that way.
Yes. So,
I don't have any other.
so would you like to share some more experiences?
No, not especially because I have already, I think, taken a lot of time.
Thank you very much.
Thank
It was wonderful talking to you, and we really, in the last 50 to 60 minutes, we really had seen and known the golden days of your career in the mathematics department at this institute. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.